cluster for year 2022. I will give you a very brief overview of the drivers of this destination and present to you the core topics to be opened in 2022. First, I would like to say that Horizon Europe features an increased emphasis on impact for society, which shall be achieved thanks to the output produced by the actions, which means the projects which are to be funded. Destination 5 is the technology-oriented destination in the health cluster, and it seeks to develop emerging and disruptive technologies that are translated into improved health solutions for the European citizens. What I would like to emphasize also is that for this destination, 5 expected impacts have been defined. First, that Europe should become world-class or should have world-class technological expertise, that the benefit should be for the patients thanks to more efficient, cost-effective technological solutions, that the European Union should gain leadership when it comes to health technology development, the reduction of disease burden in general, and last but not least, the improvement of research and innovation productivity and of healthcare quality and outcome. And what you can see here on the screen are the topics which are foreseen under Destination 5 in year 2022. There are 3 of them, 2 single stage and 1 two-stage. The first one, entitled Optimizing Effectiveness in Patients of Existing Prescription Drugs for Major Diseases except Cancer with the Use of Biomarkers, has a budget earmarked of 60 million euros. And the average size we expect there per project is in the range of 10 million. The second topic is entitled New Methods for the Effective Use of Real-World Data and/or Synthetic Data in Regulatory Decision-Making and/or in Health Technology Assessment. This is important. Here in the slide, the word assessment is missing. No, I think it's here now. Great. And the third topic is on computational models for new patient stratification strategies, for which a budget of 60 million euros has been allocated. And there we expect a size of an average project size of 6 million. And as I said before, this is the only topic which is to be handled under a two-stage procedure. We can go to the next slide. When we look now in the first topic, can you move to the next slide?
Bernd, I think that there is only one slide in this presentation.
Okay. Then I will say it like this: the expected outcomes of the first one are that diagnostic industries move towards market approval for companion diagnostics. So companion diagnostics are strongly within the scope of this topic. The second expected outcome is that regulatory authorities approve those diagnostics and make recommendations for the prescription of existing drugs. The third one is that healthcare providers use biomarkers with existing pharmaceuticals to treat more efficiently and cost-effectively patients with less adverse effects. So for the scope, it is important to say that this topic is on already existing and commercialized pharmaceuticals. It is not about the development of new pharmaceuticals. And the focus is clearly on the clinical validation of qualified biomarkers, which can be molecular or others, in order to identify the responding patients. Then the focus is on, as I said, on the existing pharmaceuticals and for the treatment of major diseases and conditions where cancer and rare diseases are accepted. And the topic refers, as I said, to medicines that are on the market and not on the validation of markers for the development of new medicinal products. This is the first topic. The second topic, on the real-world data and the synthetic data in regulatory decision-making and/or in health technology assessment. The expected outcomes for this topic are again 3, and it is very much on data-driven methodologies for the effective use of real-world data and/or synthetic data. And it is also expected that from the work to be funded, optimized guidelines are prepared, which are then to be used by the health regulatory authorities and bodies. And at the same time, the work should seek that the regulatory authorities are trained in the data-driven decision-making for their work. The scope of this topic is seen as the development of a set of evidence standards should be the output, and also a sort of data quality framework which should enhance the regulatory decision-making or the health technology assessment. And in this topic are, of course, welcome machine learning methods, which should help assess and validate the data and should support the regulatory bodies in their work. The third and last topic under this destination, the computational models for the patient stratification strategies, has also 3 expected outcomes. First one is to get in the end to integrated solutions for the classification of clinical phenotypes and validated data-driven tools to successfully stratify the patients. Then there should be in the end, the strategies should enable personalized diagnosis or targeted therapeutic strategies, and also the development of the guidelines enabling the stratification-based patient management, which should be superior to the standard of care. So the focus of the work under this topic should be on the development of new computational models for the integration of complex health data to guide patient stratification strategies for improving the clinical outcomes. Then on the demonstration and the clinical validation of such models with the aim of improving the standard of care. And last but not least, the development of the strategies guided by computational models and the validation of the new concepts of stratification in preclinical or clinical studies. So these are more or less the outcomes and the scope of these 3 topics. And I would now open the floor for receiving questions, which we will try to answer. I see a first question, which is on national competent authorities should be involved. Can they be beneficiaries? How large should be their role? If my understanding is correct, this they are certainly not excluded, so they should probably be in, but I will also hand over to my head of unit to come in eventually for that question.
Sorry, Bernd, you mean about the first question on topic 1102 on the national competent authorities?
Yes.
I think this question should be addressed by Jana.
Sorry, it's for Jana. Sorry, yes, F11.2, yes. But as I think the competent authorities, they are included, right?
Yes, indeed, Bernd. Good afternoon, everyone. So indeed, national competent authorities are invited and should be involved in the proposals. Whether they can be beneficiaries, yes, we expect that, and we are going to publish an FAQ to be entirely clear for all the stakeholders who might be interested to participate in this topic. So please, on the funding and tenders portal, expect to have an FAQ, a question and an answer to this specific aspect of this topic. How large should their role be? Of course, it depends on the project setup here. We don't have clear instructions. I think it depends on the consortia to organize the work and to see whether national competent authorities should be involved as a consultative body, or should they actually do hands-on work if it makes sense. Of course, we invite them to participate this way, but please expect to get a more detailed answer in our funding and tenders portal. Thank you.
I would say that if I can add on that, I would say depending on what the actual work undertaken in the project is, if it is essential that a competent authority is included there to achieve the goals, the actual objectives of the project, they should be involved. I think this would be my interpretation.
They should be involved in any case, as it is stated in the topic. So they should be involved.
Yeah.
But please expect more detailed answers from us on the portal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jana. The next one is again on topic 11.2. Okay, I do not fully capture that. Is industry that later needs to follow the regulations an appreciated partner or consider? Okay. Is industry considered as an appreciated partner or as a risk to influence the rules towards their interest? So it's a question a bit about the involvement of industry. I think also here, they are not excluded a priori.
No, they are not excluded. This is correct, Bernd. They are not excluded from this topic. And of course, they are invited to participate if indeed they have a valid role within the consortium. It might be looking at the scope requirements. You can see that the machine learning approaches are mentioned. Perhaps there could be a role for industry. This is just an example, of course, but there can be other roles for industry in such proposals as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Then we have a question on topic 12, which is the two-stage, the computational models, if I'm not mistaken. Is it possible to focus on cancer here, or is it excluded? I will hand over to my colleague Christina for this question.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, this topic is quite broad and does not prescribe any particular diseases or conditions that should be addressed. So it's open, to the applicants to select the appropriate area where the computational tools development will allow more innovative patient stratification processes in comparison to the existing practice. So to provide an improvement. That's a justification that the applicants should provide. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. I think we have another one on that topic. The topic will support the development of computational models driven by the end user's needs. Are end users' needs those of healthcare professionals in this case? I would say, yes, they can absolutely be the healthcare professionals, right?
Yes.
Christina.
Yes, but I just wanted to add something. You see, in this, indeed, there are different topics where you see expected outcomes, where in some topics we request to the applicants to address all the expected outcomes, and in some topics we request to address some. So in this particular topic, there are 4 expected outcomes, and actually the outcomes, they can guide you, the expected outcomes, to be able to see the potential end users where we would like to see an impact, ultimate impacts, because outcomes, it's the medium-term effects of the projects supported, and the results of the projects should contribute to these outcomes. And we describe usually the target groups. And indeed, in this topic, we are referring as target groups, clinical researchers, researchers around health professionals, regulatory bodies, healthcare professionals. So depending on the maturity of the model, I would say you will adapt, or you will build your proposal to address end users.
If I'm not mistaken, here in this topic, the work is expected to address all expected outcomes, right?
No, in this topic, the work allows flexibility to the applicants to address some of the following applicants, and also under the scope, some of the following conditions of the call. So we wanted to allow flexibility for more any innovative approaches and for the coming proposals, yes.
In any case, healthcare professionals are very welcome as the end users. Okay.
Yes.
Next question is on topic 1102. Data privacy is not explicitly mentioned in the call. Why? This is a crucial issue, at least in Sweden. Well, there are, if I can say, just from my point of view and my interpretation, if something is not explicitly mentioned in the call, it does not mean that it cannot be included. Correct, Jana?
Sorry, let me turn on my microphone. Exactly, Bernd. So when it comes to data privacy preserving solutions, since here we are dealing with data-driven methodologies, it goes without saying that explicitly, well, even if it's not mentioned in the topic text, we are implicit that this should be addressed. So all of the infrastructures or analytics developed should be privacy preserving, if indeed they use personal data. So yes, though it's not mentioned, it is implicit that it should be addressed.
Thank you. I can go to the next one, which is now on topic 1101, the biomarker topic. Is the identification of new biomarkers in the scope of that topic? If from my interpretation, I would say yes, as long as they are on existing already commercialized medicinal products. Right, Carmen?
Well, actually, the focus of the topic is to validate the biomarkers, to be able to come with sort of companion diagnostics that would allow to better identify who would be the responders to those drugs. So although it is not prescribed from the topic the identification, we believe that it might be difficult to aim for going both for identification and validation in the same project. I think it would be complicated to aim for both. But the critical part is to ensure the validation. So if a proposal is convinced that during the life of the project and with the resources that will be part of the project, it can credibly do both the identification and the validation, it could be okay, but it should provide very strong arguments to be convincing. And in any case, the validation should be achieved, which is the main focus.
Okay, thank you. All right. I see we can already go on with another one on 11.1. Could a proposal to this call carry out an observational study followed by a randomized clinical trial? A priori, my answer would be yes, but maybe you can come in and clarify.
No, yes, indeed. I think it, as long as it would be followed by a randomized clinical trial that would allow to validate the identified biomarker, it would be fine. But an observational study alone per se would not be sufficient.
Thank you.
It would not allow for validation. Thank you.
I see. All right. Then we have another one on a topic 11.2. What size of projects are expected? Here, the average size, if I'm not mistaken, is in the range of 7 million euros.
Mm-hmm.
And the total budget earmarked for that topic is 35. So there probably 5 projects could be funded under that call if they are in that size, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Bernd, the budgets are definitely correct that you have provided. If the potential applicant means the size of the consortium, this is completely open to your project setup. This is what I want to say.
Yes. Then we have another one on 11.2. What range of technology readiness levels are expected for that topic?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So as you know, this topic is about methodology research. So I wouldn't be able to specify a specific TRL range. Probably for the last bullet point of the scope where you have machine learning approaches being developed, then we can talk potentially about TRL. But otherwise, it's mostly methodology work that is expected. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. Then we have another one on topic 11.1. The term major disease refers to the top 10 WHO list or other conditions that carry a high burden of disease since childhood are considered. My first interpretation would be that major disease, in fact, yes, refers to the WHO listing. But I'll also invite Carmen eventually if you can complement here.
Yes, Bernd. So actually, the topic does not prescribe what should be considered as a major disease, or does not point to a particular definition or reference on it. However, the idea behind the topic is to really look at those drugs that are really used significantly, either because they are targeting diseases that affect to a significant amount of population. So even though it's not prescribed, that is the idea behind, that a lot of people would be consuming those drugs. But nevertheless, it is up to the proposers to convince the evaluators that what they are, the kind of disease or condition that they are targeting would be major. So if they provide strong and credible arguments, I think that could work as well, as long as this kind of idea behind is satisfied.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, in this topic we have the case that those drugs, it should be demonstrated they are useful or efficient in only 50% or less of the population which has been treated with them, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is a major component which needs to be respected in the work.
Indeed.
Okay. Then we have a question. Okay, this is very likely on topic, the last one. Could you clarify how the two-step closure works for the topic? Well, there normally the first stage is a sort of expression of interest with I don't know how long, but rather brief setting out the work which is planned, and after evaluation of these expressions of interest, afterwards the successful applicants will be invited to provide or to submit a full proposal for the second stage. right, Christina?
Yes. So indeed, that's the procedure that we have been applying as a two-stage, mainly from across the horizon to 2020 also. I would welcome to the applicants, first of all, to contact their national contact points, because they are there to facilitate and catalyze the participation of the different community of the countries in the different Horizon calls, Horizon Europe calls, and also practically, you can go to the participant portal. You search with the keywords, you find the topic, and then you see at the bottom of the page you find the documents, and there it's exactly the exact latest template that you should use for all the documents, including the evaluation process, the selection in annexes. So everything is described quite well in the participant portal.
Good. So I see, because I see there is another question which is actually going in the same or addressing the same issue. What is the template? So the template is downloadable on the participant portal,
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Then we have another one on this topic. Is the participation of SMEs? No, hold on.
Yes.
Is the participation of SMEs a plus, or is the participation of a big enterprises partner a good solution too? I would say that in private partners, industry partners are not excluded. They are invited to be partners in those projects, right?
Yes, of course. There is a flexibility in almost complete flexibility in Horizon Europe, that any type of entities from in terms of expertise, I mean, the legal status can participate as long as they will justify their role and then they are necessary and to achieve the objectives as proposed in the proposal. But this is more actually the participation, the final consortium participation, and the detailed implementation. It is a criteria that will be thoroughly evaluated in stage 2. And so in general, of course, the consortia has to present in their concept a holistic view and interdisciplinary approach and how all the partners will contribute. And I would say there is a reference in this topic about encouraging the participation of SMEs, because there is a lot of SME community advancing in this kind of area, but it's open to all kinds of relevant partners that can contribute to the objectives of the proposal and to reach the scope of the call. Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you, Christina. Exactly what I thought. So I think there are no more questions, and I would like to thank my colleagues and to the people who have asked this, who have put this question. Thank you very much. For those where we were not fully able to, we will try to complete them in writing. And I thank you very much for your interest. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.